stainless. Means on conventional level there is samsara. On conventional level there is samsara, and within the samsara there is pain, suffering, and there is the cause of samsara. The delusion, the karma are the cause of the samsara. So there is strain. On conventional level, the strain, the result of those strain, the samsaric state, and the result of samsaric state is painful and suffering state. But again, what is that strain which lead to the samsara? What is the delusion? What is the karma? If you analyze in that ultimate way, with the ultimate analysis, again same thing. You cannot pinpoint. Therefore, is empty of inherently existence. There is strain, but there is no inherently existent strain. There is a result of strain, but there is no inherently existent result of the strain. Therefore, is stainless. Yeah.
Nākošā daļa, kur ir teikts, ka visas parādības nav atraipītas. Tas, uz ko tas tas, uz ko tas norāda, ir samsāra. Un proti mēs zinām, ka mēs atrodamies samsārā pēc, ka mums ir kaut kādas darbības, ko mēs varētu nosaukt par atraipītām, kas liek mums atrasties samsārā, un no konvencionālā viedokļa pastāv ciešanas un ciešanas cēloņi, bet, ja mēs to aplūkojam galējā līmeņa skatījumā, tad nepastāv tādas no savas paša puses noteikti pašpastāvošas atraipītas darbības.
Then, not without strain. On conventional level, there's state which is without strain, which means nirvana. The nirvana state, on conventional level, there is the nirvana, which is free from the samsara, which is free from the stain of delusions and the karma. But again, if we analyze this with the same analysis, what is nirvana? What is the state of nirvana? Then again, when you do that kind of analysis, again, also even the nirvana, we cannot find it in that way. It cannot withstand that analysis. And therefore, nirvana itself is not only the samsara, but nirvana which is free from the samsara, that state itself is empty of truly existence, empty of inherent existence. Therefore, it is not without the stain, which means not truly existence of stainless state of nirvana.
Un nākošā apgalvojuma daļa neatraipītas, tas norāda uz nirvānas, tad mēs redzam tīras, neatraipītas, te runājam par samsāru un nirvānu. Tad konvencionālajā līmenī mēs varam redzēt, ka pastāv no ciešanām brīvs stāvoklis nirvāna, bet, ja mēs skatām to caur galējās analīzes prizmu, tad mēs nevaram atrast nirvānu, kas ir pašpastāvoša un noteikta tikai no savas puses.
And then not divisions. So again, even though on conventional level all the negativities, all the negativities, samsara itself, all the suffering state, all the painful state, samsara, as well as the cause of samsara, delusion and karma, and all this can be deficient, can be reduced, can be eliminated, can be overcome on conventional level. But again, if we use the same ultimate analysis, what is that decreasing state of that negativities? What is that deficient state of negativities? Then again, we cannot find it, so therefore it's empty of inherent truly existence. Therefore is no, on ultimate level, no divisions or reducing, decreasing of those negativities.
Un mēs varam aplūkot to, ka, protams, samsārā mēs varam veikt attīrīšanos, lai uzlabotu savu stāvokli, un caur attīrīšanos un pilnveidošanos mēs varam gala beigās nokļūt pie nirvānas, bet atkal, ja mēs to aplūkojam caur galējās realitātes analīzes prizmu, tad nepastāv tāds pašnoteikts nepilnīgs stāvoklis.
And then not fulfilled. Again, on conventional level, through the practice of the path, one can develop the realizations. Through the cultivations of those realizations, one can fulfill and achieve all the positive state of minds, all the positive result, and complete nirvana, fully enlightened state, and so forth. But again, if you analyze with the same ultimate analysis, what is fulfilled? What is that state which lead you to, what is the path itself? What is the state of path which lead you to that fully enlightened state of nirvana? If you analyze, again, you cannot find the same way. So therefore, even that, the path, the fulfill, which lead to the fully enlightened state, that itself is empty of truly existent, inherent existence, therefore is not truly fulfilled or truly unfulfilled, inherent and unfulfilled. Yeah.
Un atkal noslēdzošā daļa nepilnīgs un nepilnīgs. Te vairāk runājot par to, ka caur pilnveidošanos ir iespējams nokļūt pie pilnīgāka stāvokļa konvencionālā līmenī, bet galējā realitātes līmenī, ja mēs caur šo galējo analīzi cenšamies atrast pašu noteikti pilnīgu stāvokli, tad mēs nevaram pie tā nokļūt.
I guess with this 8 attribute, I don't know if we can kind of explain and look in that way. For example, the aggregates. When it is explained those aggregates are empty of inherent existence, then we begin to see if it is empty of inherent existence, then can it function? Does it has ability to function? And so then of course there is functioning. There is a characteristic of that aggregate which allow it to function and effect differently. But then, is there a cause and conditions for that functionings? Yes, there is cause and condition. Because of those cause and conditions, it is produced, and because it is being produced, therefore it is able to function. If it isn't produced, can it stay forever? No, it cannot stay forever. It will cease. It is being produced and cease, all on conventional level. So on conventional level, the aggregate exists, and because of that existing, there is a characteristic. On basis of that, it is functions, and that function happens because there is cause and conditions which produce that. And when it is being produced, it will cease. But on ultimate level, there is no inherently existing aggregate, there is no inherently existing characters and functioning of inherently existing functionings, there is no inherently existing cause and conditions which produce that state or that aggregate, and there is no inherently ceasing of that being which has been produced. So to have understanding of phenomena from much more full pictures.
Un tad mēs varam veikt analīzi par to, kā tad lietas fenomeni īsti eksistē, vai šī agregāti. Mēs varam redzēt, ka konvencionālā līmenī agregāti pastāv atkarības rašanās veidā. Tie nav noteikti paši no savas puses, jo pretējā gadījumā tie nevarētu funkcionēt, nevarētu miedarboties. Tas ir tas konvencionālais līmenis, viņi miedarbojas, viņi pastāv, bet galējās analīzes līmenī mēs redzam, ka tiem nepiemīt paši noteikta eksistence.
And within that phenomena of that produced phenomena or impermanent phenomena, then there is, within that phenomena, there is the samsara phenomena. And so, again, on conventional level, due to our unsubdued mind, due to our delusions, there is samsara. But once we are able to overcome that strains of that delusions and karma, then we can achieve the stainless nirvana state. And how can we achieve that nirvana state? Is by reducing those delusion and karma, and by cultivating and fulfilling all the path, all the realizations through that, by overcoming by reducing and overcoming all the negativities such as delusion and so forth, And by cultivating and fully developing all the positive state of mind or realization path, through that we can achieve nirvana. But on ultimate level, there is no samsara, there is no nirvana, and there is no path which lead to nirvana, and there is no overcoming the delusions which lead to the nirvana itself on ultimate level. Yeah. Was it?
Helmut, tu klausies?
Daļēji.
Žēl, ka.
Es saku no beigām vienkārši. Jā. Kā, teiksim, būtībā jau tā ideja diezgan vienkārši. Konvencionālā līmenī pastāv gan samsāra, gan nirvāna, bet, teiksim, galējā līmenī nepastāv ne samsāra, ne nirvāna. Bet pirms tam tu bija garš skaidrojums.
Jā.
And then here the commentary says in the sutra of the Prasna Paramita, it says form does not come from anywhere, form does not go anywhere, and form does not remain anywhere.
Prasna Paramītas sutrā ir teikts, ka forma nenāk ne no kurienes, forma nedodas ne uz kurienu un forma nepaliek nekur.
But again, of course, we are talking on ultimate level.
Bet te, protams, runa ir par galējo līmeni.
On conventional level, the form is being produced, form arises, and form remains, and then form goes or ceases, but not on ultimate level.
Bet, protams, konvencionālā līmenī forma tiek radīta, forma pastāv, forma izbeidzās, bet tā nav galējā līmenī.
And then it says, if we understand all these phenomena are empty of inherently existence, then at the very beginning, especially at the very beginning, we'll understand all the conditions, phenomena, are empty of, does not arises inherently. And if you understand those phenomena, those conditioned phenomena does not arises inherently, then they will not remain inherently. And if they cannot remain inherently, at the end, they cannot be stopped or ceased inherently. And therefore, all the things to be abandoned and to be adapted are only on conventional level and not on ultimate level.
Un tālāk atkal par šo konvencionālo un galējo līmeni, tas galvenais, kurā mums ir jāveic šis atmešanas vai attīrīšanās vai atbrīvošanās darbs no negatīviem lietām, tas tiek veikts konvencionālajā līmenī.
And then here it continues. The main reason why phenomena does not exist inherently, the main reason is because they depend on cause and conditions.
Un galvenais iemesls, kāpēc fenomeni nepastāv no savas puses noteiktā veidā, ir tāpēc, ka tie pastāv atkarībā no cēloņiem un apstākļiem.
In one of the sutras, Buddha said, whichever depends on conditions, other conditions, does not arises or is not produced.
Once again.
Whichever phenomena depends depending on others, conditions, that is not produced or arises. So meaning that is, when it says it's not produced arising, it means it's not truly or inherently produced and arise.
Un kādā sutrā būtu saka, ka fenomens, kas pastāv atkarībā no citiem fenomeniem, tas nerodas un nepastāv pats no savas puses.
Then Nagarjuna said in one of his writing, Juba, the 60 reasoning, he says, the supreme all-knowing, the supreme knower of the suchness, which refers to the Buddha, has said that whichever is dependent on others does not arises.
Un kādā sutrā atkal ir teikts, ka tas, kas ir atkarīgs no citiem, nerodas kavās pašnoteiktā veidā.
And same, Chandrakirti says same thing in his middle way, engage in the middle way.
Un to pašu saka arī Chandrakirti savā vidusceļa traktātā.
And then Lama Tsongkhapa, again in his praise to the dependent arising, he said, whatever is dependent on others' conditions, it is explained as empty of inherent existence.
Un Lama Tsongkhapa arī saka to savā darbā, ka tas, kas ir atkarīgs no citiem, tas ir brīvs no pašu noteiktas eksistences.
So here, whichever is dependent on cause and conditions or to its parts, then it is dependent on others, so therefore the things cannot exist by its own power or by its own, it is not self-sufficiently existence.
Un tātad kopumā viss, kas pastāv atkarībā no citiem fenomeniem, objektiem vai savām daļām, tas nepastāv pašnoteiktā veidā.
And then Aryadeva, again the main disciple Lama Tsongkhapa, Nagarjuna, he says in one of his writings that all the phenomena are not self-existence, therefore there is no self.
Once again.
All the phenomena are not self-sufficiency, or self-sufficiency means where they are able to function without depending on others by itself. Yeah? So because they are all phenomena not self-sufficient, therefore there is no self. So when they say it's not self, it means there is no inherently existing self.
Un tā kā fenomeniem nepastāv no savas puses noteikta identitāte, tad nepastāv šis pašnoteiktā patība.
So again, what makes samsara possible? What makes nirvana possible is because of empty of inherent existence.
Kas padara samsāru un nirvānu iespējamu, tā ir šis tukšums no pastāvošas eksistences.
when Nagarjuna explained that everything is empty of inherently existence or truly existence, so many of the others Buddhist tenets argue that if it is empty of inherent existence, then there is no possible of liberations. How can there be possible of liberations? Because if it is not inherently existent, it cannot exist. If it cannot exist, there is no point of the liberation cannot be possible. What is the point of practicing? There is no point in practicing, and so forth. And Nagarjuna answered, because of empty of inherently existence, that is why everything is possible. If it is inherently existent, nothing is possible.
Un Nagarjunas laikā viņi apstrīdēja citu skolu sekotāju, kā ja reiz nepastāv pašnoteikta eksistence, tad kā vispār var pastāvēt atbrīvošanās un gaismība, un kā viņai vispār ir praktizēt, uz ko viņš atbildēja, ka tieši tāpēc, ka nepastāv pašnoteikta eksistence, tieši tāpēc ir iespējams sasniegt gaismību.
If it is inherent existence, it means inherent from the very beginning. However it is always going to remain that. That is how it is. But since it's not inherently existence, but depend on cause and conditions, other parts, other conditions, so therefore when those cause and condition changes, the result changes. So therefore, then everything becomes possible.
Un tieši tāpēc, ka lietas nepastāv pašnoteiktā veidā, ir iespējams, ka viss mainās, jo pretējā gadījumā viņas būtu precīzi tieši tādas pašas no sākotnējā brīža un nekas nemainītos. Bet tas, ka apstākļi mainās, lietas mainās, dod iespēju iegūt citādāk rezultātu.
For example, if samsara is truly inherently existence, then for its existence, it doesn't depend on cause and conditions. Therefore, it doesn't depend on the karma and the delusions. And so, therefore, even you change karma, even you down from the delusion, it will not affect the state of samsara because they are totally unconnected, unrelated. So therefore, it will always remain samsara. But because since samsara is not inherently existing, it depends on cause and conditions, on delusion and karma. When you change the karma, when you change the delusions, transform the delusions, overcome the delusions, then it is going to have change on the effect of that, the samsara itself, the state of samsara.
Piemēram, ja samsāra būtu noteikti pati no savas puses, tad tā nebūtu atkarīga ne no kādiem cēloņiem un apstākļiem, un tad neatkarīgi no tā, ko jūs darīt ar saviem traucējušiem mentāliem un emocionāliem stāvokļiem, jūs nevarētu atbrīvoties no samsāras stāvokļa, jo samsāra kā pašnoteikta vienība nekādā veidā nevarētu tikt ietekmēta no jebkādiem apstākļiem un cēloņiem.
In terms of the practice meditations, when we say the formless emptiness, whatever reason and logic, there are many reason and logic to contemplate on, to have the understanding that why form is empty or inherently existent, whatever reason, logic, many different reason, logic, whatever you use it and then come to conclusions that is totally empty of inherently existence. And then when you come to that state of total emptiness, total spaciousness, the vastness of that, then try to remain in that state as much as possible.
Un praktiskās meditācijas viedokļi, kad mēs meditējam par to, ka forma ir tukša, tukšums ir forma, tad mēs varam izmantot daudzos dažādos aplūkotos loģiskos argumentācijas variantus. Un tad, kad mēs nonākam pie brīžu, kur mums iestājas dziļāka līmeņa izpratne, un mēs gūstam tādu tā kā brīvu telpu, kurā mēs izjūtam to tukšumu radīto plašumu, tad mums vajadzētu palikt pie šīs izpratnes tik ilgi, cik iespējams.
And when your concentrations on that spacious, that empty, vast spaciousness started to become kind of weak and your mind started to wander, then again you go back to the previous and again try to do the same analysis with reason and logic, again coming to the same conclusions of total emptiness, total spaciousness and vastness, again try to remain there as much as possible. So you do that alternatively, first doing the analytical meditation, coming to some conclusions, and then when you come to that conclusion, trying to remain in that state without any analysis, but more with a concentration, keep it as much as possible. Again, when you lose, again you do the analytical meditation, again bring down the conclusion, again concentration meditation, so you do that, yeah.
Un tad faktiski šī meditācijas sesija varētu izskatīties tā, ka mēs sākam ar šo analīzes procesu, un tad, kad mēs esam nonākuši pie secinājumu, par kur mēs varam meditēt, tad mēs koncentrējamies uz šī secinājuma radīto sajūtu, un tad mēģinām palikt šajā brīvajā sajūtā pēc iespējas ilgāk. Un tad, kad mēs jūtam, ka mums šī sajūta sāk zust, tad mēs atgriežamies pie tukšuma analīzes, un atkal, tad, kad mums ir radusies sajūta, tad cenšamies to izpratni sajūtu līmenī, un cenšamies to noturēt pēc iespējas ilgāk, koncentrējoties uz to.
And that kind of meditations that you is sometimes explained as a space-like emptiness meditations.
Un šāda veida meditācija reizēm sauc par space-like.
Tukšumam līdzīgo, ne?
Jā, tukšumam līdzīgo. Tukšuma meditācija.
And then, so that is when you use that Heart Sutra for your meditation, that is when you use form is empty. Then when the next word, emptiness form, then of course, in that verse, then you try to meditate on what we call illusion-like meditations. Illusion-like emptiness meditations.
Un šis te aprakstītais attiecās uz pirmo daļu. Forma ir tukša. Un kad mēs meditējam par to, ka tukšums ir forma, tad šīs kategorijas meditācija tiek apzīmēta kā ilūzijai līdzīga meditācija.
Someone who have a realization of emptiness, when they are in that space-like meditation and meditative equipoise, when they come out of that meditative equipoise, then naturally, everything appear as like a illusions, like a dream. And then they are able to see it as like illusion, as a dream, naturally, because of their previous meditations of like space, like meditations on emptiness. That happens naturally. When they come out of that meditative voice, when they engage into the world, they see someone, they see the things, they encounter things with the senses, with their mind, everything's. And they see everything's happening at the same time. They see in a very light way, more in an illusion state, more like a dream state, instead of so solid, so concrete like which we experience. So that happened naturally. That, yeah.
Un priekš tā praktizētāja, kas veic šo tukšumam līdzīgo meditāciju, tad atgriežoties vai iznākot no šīs meditācijas, dabiski tiek viss notiekošais, viss fenomeni tiek uztverti vairāk kā ilūzijai līdzīgi, tie vairs nav tik neizskatās tik cieši satverami kā iepriekš.
Or like us, or like those who have not had the realization of emptiness, that will not come naturally. So therefore, when you come out of that meditations, when you encounter the world, when you see it, you intentionally, purposefully, put the effort to see everything like more like an illusion state, more like a dream state. It doesn't appear naturally, but you train yourself intentionally, saying, even though it appears so real, so solid, so concrete to me, but they all are like a more illusion, more like a dream. So reminding ourselves again and again and training ourselves to see it that way.
Jā, bet praktizētājiem bez tukšuma realizācijas šāda veida skatījums uz pasauli nenāks dabiski, tāpēc ir jāpielieto apzinātā veidā šis te skatījums, ka fenomeni pastāv drīzāk kā ilūzijas.
So again, we can try to alternate those two meditations, space like emptiness meditation and illusion like emptiness meditations.
Un tad mēs varam savstarpēji mainīt šīs meditācijas, vispirms meditējot par tukšumam līdzīgo meditāciju un tad ilūzijai līdzīgo tukšumu meditāciju.
Then the third one, how to practice and train in the path of meditation has to outline how to practice in that path and how to achieve fully enlightened state having practiced in that path.
Un tālāk seko apraksts, kā meditēt un kā šo meditāciju rezultātā sasniegt orgasmātu stāvokli.
So then that one start with Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compulsion factor, no consciousness. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sounds, no order, no taste, no objects, no touch, no phenomena. Yeah, so
Un attiecīgā daļa ir šī te, kas sākas ar tādējādi šādu putra tukšumā, no forma, no sajūta, no izšķirtspējas, no veidojušo faktoru, no simts, no valsts, no vējās, no ķermeņa, no prāta, no forma, no skaņa, no smaržu, no garša, no sataustāmā, no mentālā parādība.
So again, here we are not saying there is no form, no feeling at all. Here it is saying, as we have been explaining before, for a Arya, someone who have a direct understanding of emptiness, who is in meditative equipoise. And that meditative equipoise to that mind who is totally dissolved into emptiness. Okay, the mind which understands emptiness directly and totally in equipoise, meditative equipoise, totally dissolved into that emptiness. The mind totally dissolved, all the dualistic view dissolve. At that point, there is no appearance in that mind of the form. There is no appearance of feeling. There is no appearance of discriminating mind. There is no appearance of this compositional factor. There is no appearance of consciousness. All this dissolve. In that state, at that moment, there is no form, there is no feeling, there is no discrimination, there is no compositional factor, there is no consciousness, nothing, just pure emptiness. At that point, in that state of the mind.
Un priekš tāda līmeņa prāta, kas ir jau izpratis tukšumu un atrodas dziļā absorpcijas meditācijā par tukšumu, tādā līmenī netiek vairs dualistiskā veidā uztverti šie fenomeni un no šāda meditatīvā prāta viedokļa patiešām nav forma, nav sajūta, nav izšķirtspējas un tā tālāk.
So it doesn't mean there is no form, there is no feeling at all. It means at that meditative equipoise, all these conventional phenomena dissolve in that state of the mind. There is no dualist. There is not only there is no appearance of truly existence. There is no appearance of any of the conventional phenomena at that point, in that state of the mind. So in that state of mind, none of those objects appears and exists at that in that mind. Okay?
Tas nenozīmē, ka vispār nav šo fenomenu konvencionālā līmenī, tie, protams, pastāv, bet priekš tās apziņas, kas atrodas šajā dziļajā meditatīvajā stāvoklī ar tukšumu izpratni, tur vairs nepastāv šī dualistiskā uztvere.
Normally when we talk about dualistic mind or dualistic view, there are many different levels of what it means by dualistic. The dualistic of inherently existing appearance, okay? When there is object, there is appearance of object, inherently existence, there is dualistic mind, dualistic view. But even you don't have, sometimes the dualistic view of separate between the subject and object. It's not necessarily truly existence, but the subjects, the mind and the object, which is apprehending the object, there is a appearance of separate. Again, in that sense, there is dualistic view, there is dualistic mind. Sometimes there is not even that appearance of separate between subject and object, but there is oneness, but there is appearance of the object, the conventional objects. Even that is dualistic when you have the object of appearance of cup, okay? And so in that meditative equipoise state, all these different type of dualistic view totally dissolve.
Kad mēs runājam par dualistisko uztveri, tad tas var attiekties uz vairākām lietām. Viens ir, kad mēs runājam par šo dualistisku uztveri par pašu noteiktu eksistenci. Cits variants ir, kad ir runa par dualistisko uztveri starp objektu un subjektu. Vai pat tāds variants, kad it kā ir šī vienotība, bet parādās šī duālā konvencionālā uztvere.
But that doesn't mean there is no conventional phenomena, okay?
Bet tas nenozīmē, ka konvencionālie fenomeni nepastāv.
But when in that state, you are in that meditative equipoise so strongly in that, as a consequences, as a result of that totally immerse into that non-duality state of mind, when you come out of that state, when you engage in the world, you have appearance of duality. There is you, there is me, there is you smiling, the action of smiling. Because of smiling, I get very joyful, happy, the feelings. Of course, there is all these dualistic view, dualistic feelings, okay, appearance. But because of that strong influence and non-dualistic view in that meditative voice, everything this happens in a very subtle way. There's feeling, but it is not so real, not so intense like normal. There's appearance of there, but it's more like illusion state of you, illusion state of me, illusion state of smiling, illusion state of the joy, because of illusion state of, more like illusion state of smiling and so forth. So therefore our interactions, our relationship, our connection with the world change in a very different way.
Un tad, kad ir šī tiešā uztvere meditatīvajā stāvoklī, tad nepastāv nekādas dualismas, bet izējot no šī meditatīvā stāvokļa, tad meditētājiem joprojām var parādīties nosacīt dualistiski uztveri. Piemēram, meditētājs var redzēt, ka jūs smaidat, smaids atkal rada kaut kādas patīkamas sajūtas un tā tālāk, bet meditācijas rezultātā tas vairs netiek uztverts tik stingri un tvarami, drīzāk ir tāda sajūta par tā kā jūsu iluzorā es smaidu un kā iluzors es to uztveru un tā miedarbība ar pasauli ir daudz citādāka un izmainītāka.
So the point of meditation is not to kind of destroy the external dualistic object, you know. There's cup, there's clock, this is different. And the meditation not to destroy and make everything oneness. That is not the point. It is not trying to do that. It's not trying to suit that. At the same time, even on your everyday life, still like that is not to make yourself not being able to differentiate between cup and the clock. Do you get it? Because on that non-dualistic you cannot, they are all same. That would be big problems. You would be in big problems. Maybe you might have to go into the hospital. But the problem, the point is that you see the cup, you see